This is the Engine Company Progressive Way. Personal protective equipment: helmet, eye pro, brush coat, leather gloves, Nomex pants, and a Wildland compliant boot. These are the tools that you'll need for the job: Pulaski, a hoe, 3 100-foot sections of 1-inch Wildland hose, and your Wildland brass bag. Its contents include a hose clamp, a water thief, toy hose nozzle and adapter, as well as 2 additional nozzles to make the job work. The first companies arrived on scene. Remember, prior to engaging, ensure that you've established LCES. Let's just say that this green line here is your pre-connect. Kyle here is going to pull the 200-foot pre-connect and begin an initial attack. It's also a good idea for the driver to pull a protection line for the engine at the road. Purposes of this video, let's pretend that the Enfield is the fire. They've anchored off the road and they're advancing down its flank. Once your 200-foot pre-connect's been fully stretched, we're ready to transition over to Wildland hose. We're going to stretch an additional 200 feet as well as place a 100-foot lateral line. In order to avoid a long trip back to the engine, Jordan here has slung his hose over his tool. You can do this by taking the handle of the tool and sliding it underneath a section of hose or using a strap. Now we're going to attach our water thief. Pulling an 1 3/4 initially establishes a good anchor by protecting the crew and giving adequate water supply. Let's take a look at your 200-foot advancement of Wildland hose and how it should be deployed. The hose is deployed parallel to the flank of the fire. We make our connection in the middle, attach our hose to the Wildland thief, attach our nozzle, and begin to fight fire again. This way, the nozzle remains in the same position as to when you stop fighting fire. Always roll your hose backwards along the line behind the crew instead of in front to avoid it getting burned or accidentally rolled into the flames. So again, to review, here's how the connection should look. Attachment of the 200-foot line and attachment of your 100-foot lateral line. Don't forget to attach the nozzle to the end of your lateral line. Once your hose has been fully stretched or you're ready to advance, an additional company assigned to your flank can bring forward the same exact supplies. From here, we're going to do the exact same thing as we did before. We're going to stretch an additional 200 feet of Wildland hose as well as a 100-foot lateral line. The only difference from here on out is we need to clamp the hose prior to advancing more hose. Jordan clamps and bleeds the hose. And again, the process repeats itself right here. Attach the Wildland thief, 200 feet of Wildland hose, and your 100-foot lateral line. The lateral line that you've just placed and the one at the beginning in the evolution now cover the 200 feet that you just advanced. We repeat this process over and over again based on the complexity of the incident and available resources. Remember, the 200-foot sections of hose are your trunk line. Leave some slack in the line in case the damaged section needs replacing or your hose needs to be quickly moved away from a hazard. Here are a few more things to avoid when advancing your hose. We want to avoid operating our hose in the black, and cautious that when we advance our hose, we don't drag it with us into the black.